Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? What? Yeah. Y'all ready to play some football?
Hey guys, welcome to this week's edition of Beyond the Hashes podcast, where three dudes talk about football. I'm Ryan.
I'm Garrett.
And I'm Tim.
Today's episode will include a recap of the divisional round and a preview of the championship round of the NFL playoffs. And the first game we're going to get to is the Colts versus the Chiefs. And this is kind of an upsetter for me. I thought this was going to be a high-scoring game, and it turned out to be kind of a dud with the Chiefs' defense.
It was high-scoring for one team.
Yeah.
It was.
I thought it was going to be at least excelling past the 45 point mark.
You're hard to please.
I thought it was going to be like an 80 point game, dude. Like the way the Chiefs, like their defense is so underachieving coming into this game, you would expect them to kind of Andrew Luck to just pick them apart, but it turns out that he couldn't get things done on his side of the field because of how much pressure they were putting on him.
Oh,
he was sad.
Yeah, 19 for 36, 52 completion rate. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's way lower than a season. This season average like around 7% or something. That's crazy.
God.
The Chiefs suck on defense.
Yeah.
But they looked really good.
So we thought.
Yeah,
they looked really good.
They were ranked 31st coming into the game. Like they did not look like a 31st defense, not at all.
No, they looked like a top 10 defense. Like shutting down Andrew Luck like that.
Andrew Luck
was like the
a
Jaguars all over.
One thing I'll say is if the Chiefs continue to play like that going into the next round, I don't think that they'll have any problem making it to the Super Bowl.
Well, not only did Luck play bad, but they couldn't run the ball. They only had 87 yards. Marlon Mack only had 46.
Yeah, 14
Like,
total carries. 14 total carries. Really?
Yeah, Marlon Mack averaged 5. Wasn't his fault.
They got behind, so they couldn't use the run game as much as they'd like to, so they kind of just got in a bad position.
But it's not necessarily a bad position because you still have Andrew Luck back there. It's just that nobody was ever open. Like, besides T.Y. Hilton, who you can only throw to so many times. Even he didn't have a whole lot. He only had 60 yards. But, yeah, nobody was getting open. He just had nowhere to go. And then the pressure constantly, it's just a disaster for Luck.
Well, Luck was sacked, 3 times this game, and how many times was he sacked total for the season? 12 or 13?
Yeah. It was a lot at the beginning of the year, but then during the last 6 or something, they only allowed a couple or a few. It was ridiculous. Towards the end of the year, they were nuts.
We talk about how the Chiefs scored 31 points, but Mahomes didn't throw a touchdown.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
That's dangerous.
Damian Williams was killing it, 129 yards. Who needs Kareem Hunt?
And then Tyreek Hill back there with a 36-yard touchdown.
Well, I don't know. I feel like it's not so much the running back. Yeah, you look good, but it's I think it's just the offensive line is so good that you can put anybody back there right now. Because this guy's
not the
technically
offensive
a
line.
third string or a fourth string.
No, it's the threat of Patrick Mahomes. It's not the fact that the offensive line is stellar or anything. It's Patrick Mahomes. The fact that he's mobile enough to get away from pressure and then throw it with both hands or make those awkward ass passes.
All right, come on. He doesn't throw with both hands. He did that one time. Let's relax.
Yeah, but he can still do it. But
he doesn't even need to throw with any hands. He throws with his mind.
Yeah. It's the fact that he can do that kind of stuff that makes his offensive line look better than what it is. Because if it wasn't for that, if the offensive line did their job, he wouldn't have to go out and make some of those ridiculous things or do some of those ridiculous things.
Those no-look passes are ridiculous. That's all I have to say. That dude's so talented.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce with another huge game, 100 yards receiving again.
Yeah, on 10 targets, that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Well, it is Kelce. And then Tyreek Hill with another surprisingly good game. 8 catches, 72 yards. That burner.
I really don't like that. See, this is one of the reasons why I think that Mahomes is kind of just a little bit overinflated for as far as having an MVP season and whatnot. Because Tyreek Hill, all he has to do is run straight, and then you just bomb it out to him. He's gonna come down with the ball.
But Tyreek Hill didn't have every single one of his 5,000 passing yards.
Yeah, the other half was Kelce, and he's a monster.
Well, Kelce only had 1,400. They both had, or 1,300 or something like that. They both had like a combined 28 or 2,700 yards, like between the two. So he's still throwing 2,300 yards elsewhere, or 2,700.
Yeah, the other guys are all kind of like no name dudes, I guess. Sammy Watkins is all right. He had a pretty
Well,
decent
then the
game.
running backs get a decent amount because they like to roll out the screens.
That's true. Well, when
But
Kareem Hunt, I wonder how many yards did he have?
uh,
A
I'm not
foot.
actually seeing anything for him. Yeah, 1 foot.
Wow. But anyways, yeah. So going back to the defensive side of the ball, like the Chiefs are just outstanding on defense. That's pretty much just sums everything up right there. Like they're getting so much pressure on Andrew Luck, and they pretty much just shut them down because of that.
Yeah, they really contained them all day on both sides, or on running the ball and throwing the ball.
The
Yeah.
only person who had any real success, like stopping the defensive line, was Quentin Nelson. But it's like he's one guy; he can't do everything.
True. Do
Like,
you remember that strip sack on Andrew Luck by D Ford in the third quarter at the end?
yes.
You know what? That took just 2.54 seconds. It's actually the quickest sack of the postseason.
How does that
Whoa.
measure up with the regular season, though?
Like how fast his regular season one was?
Yeah.
Hang on, give me 10 minutes.
Do you think he is a supercomputer?
Yeah. Hang on, just wait. Just stay silent. I need to think.
Well,
Yeah, the Colts couldn't get anything going on offense. They only had the ball for what 20 minutes, I think, compared to the 40 something the Chiefs had it. It was super one sided all throughout, which made for a kind of boring game, especially because it went
Yeah.
against my prediction from last week.
Yeah, I'm actually, no matter what happened with these games, I actually didn't have a single prediction wrong. So
what?
that's really
That's because you
unperfect
didn't
for
make
the
any
week.
predictions. Not
Technically,
fair.
I'm perfect, unlike you guys.
All in all,
But then,
though,
like,
Total
Patrick Mahomes didn't
yardage.
have like uh,
What?
Patrick
Patty
Mahomes didn't.
Mahomes didn't have a great game? He didn't need to.
Yeah, he didn't need to have a great game, but
Yeah,
he went out
I
there
mean,
and he
when the
played
run game's
like how
that
he needed to.
dominant,
Yeah.
like, what do you need to pass for? Like, if the Chiefs can dominate that much on the run against New England, which I doubt they will,
no.
but if they can, like, there's no way that they can't win.
Well,
Because
see,
if you
here's
don't
one of
have to
the
rely on
things.
Patty Mahomes, like,
Here's
you're
one
gonna
of the
win.
things. Like, if you're gonna play the Colts, like they don't really have the greatest defensive line, so you don't really want to pass the ball against them. So they came into this and they stuck to their game plan, and that's what really matters. That's how you win games.
I mean, let's be real here. The Colts they ended the season super hot, but I mean, just starting with their first one on the street, they played the Bills, Raiders, Jags, Titans, Dolphins, Jags, Texans, Cowboys, Giants, Titans. None of those teams are very good. Best one of them being the Texans or the Cowboys. It's not like they played any great team there. Of course, you can only play who you play, but I don't know. I think they might have been a little bit overinflated in people's heads because of that win streak or those wins they had at the end of the year.
But they still looked impressive,
Oh
like,
yeah,
regardless of who they were against. I get what you're
shutting
saying
out the
now.
Cowboys.
Yeah,
I
we're
was just
shitty
really
teams.
disappointed with how the Colts played. I feel like they bombed pretty hard.
Yeah, I thought this was a game that they should have. I mean, obviously not should have won, but I thought it was a game that they would have won.
Yeah.
Maybe expose a young quarterback and a young team really in the playoffs, but did not go that way.
Nah.
Well, I think one of the things is like a lot of people thought that the Chiefs are like such an incomplete team considering how bad their defense was. Nobody was really expecting the Colts to get shut down on offense.
Yeah, because the Chiefs look complete as fuck in that game. Like,
Yeah, I'm
well, last
scared
week
if
we
I'm
talked about how the
anybody
Chiefs
else in
looked
the
like the weakest team, and now they look like one of the strongest teams because that defense showing up. Fucking weird.
Maybe they were just
Put on a show.
yeah, putting on a show at the end of the year, trying to fake
We're
teams
not that
out.
good.
Yeah.
One thing I have to be careful of is their ball control. They fumbled the ball 3 times this game. They only had one lost fumble, but still, they had 3 chances to lose the ball.
Yeah.
Can't afford to do that
They
against
need
the
to fix
Patriots.
that. Exactly. You can't give the Patriots any chance to take the
Yeah.
ball away from you because Tom Brady's gonna score.
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a good chance.
And if this Chiefs defense is actually as bad as it is supposed to be, Tom Brady's gonna find the weaknesses and he's gonna pick them apart.
Well, as long as they don't play zone coverage, they'll be okay.
That's true.
Like
I
the
just
fucking
think the
Chargers.
Chiefs-
There was a
team
lot
will-
of zone coverage this week. I feel like too much.
Yeah, but none was worse than the Chargers.
But what are the chances that the Chiefs' defense's game was just kind of an anomaly and they're not going to play like this anymore? Because they haven't shown in the regular season that this is how they should be playing. This was just kind of a one-time
Like-
thing.
Well, like I
Defensive
said,
heavy?
like
Defense
the
play.
Chiefs pretty much came in and they knew what they needed to do. They needed to get up ahead, and then they would force Andrew Luck to throw the ball because you can't get the run game going on the ground if you're behind, and that's pretty much what they stuck to the entire game. They knew that they couldn't really throw the ball as much as they'd like to, but they got it done. That's what it's all about, winning. It's not about padding your stats.
Aaron Rodgers.
I didn't bring it up. You
It's not
heard it
about
from
the
him.
kind of stats, though.
All right. Yeah. You know who's another guy who pads his stats? Tom Brady.
Are we just swinging into that one?
No, we're not.
Why not?
We'll talk about that later.
No.
Anyways, next game up is Dallas Cowboys versus the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh,
My
yeah, I
favorite
forgot about
game
that
of the
game.
week.
This is definitely the most exciting game of the week. I mean, talk about high velocity offense on the Rams, and that was just so interesting to watch. I loved all the audibles, all the play calling from Sean McVay. He ultimately, in my opinion, he just pretty much made the Cowboys defense look really tired, and they were confused at times. They didn't know what they were doing. They were running into each other. They weren't tackling up in the they weren't stopping the run game. There was guys missing tackles left and right. Just an overall failure by the Cowboys defense, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Yeah, C.J. Anderson. I got an interesting thing. Played obviously for Denver. He was in Denver the past 5 years. He only ran 120 yards 3 times that entire span. The past 2 weeks, and including this one, he ran for 167 against Arizona, 123 against 49ers. He did it twice in 12 days, and he'd only done it 3 times in the past 5 years. So I don't know if that says something about him or if it's just all on this Rams offense and how they open up the run game.
Yeah. I think it's like a rejuvenation of like him. Like he needed like a fresh start and like somebody like a Todd Gurley to where like he can feed off of him because Todd Gurley is obviously one of the best. And I feel like when you have somebody like that, like it boosts you to want to perform better. And then I think that and like the mixture of the offensive line, like it was just a really good scenario for C.J. Anderson. And now he's obviously killing it and giving Gurley like an actual break, something that he hasn't experienced in a while. So
Yeah, only
Rams
one
look
player
lethal.
all year ran for more against the Cowboys than him, and that was Marlon Mack in that shutout win that they had earlier in the year.
That's
Wow.
interesting. I didn't know that.
Well, now you know.
I would figure that like Saquon Barkley might be up there, but
No, he didn't do well against the Giants. Only against the Eagles. What else is there?
Were you
Oh.
expecting a reaction from me?
yeah,
He just goes dead silent.
pretty
Like,
much.
where's Tim's reaction?
this game pretty much went exactly how I thought it would go. If you stop Zeke,
Well-
which is basically what the Rams defense did. They pretty much shut him down at every chance they could. He had 20 attempts, which is a little under for what he is, but they're playing behind, so keep that in mind.
20's not bad considering they were down.
Yeah, exactly.
But he only had 43 yards.
Yeah,
47 yards.
exactly.
That's the part that killed him. 2.3 average.
What did I say last week though? When I was talking about predictions, I said if you hold Zeke Elliott to under 125 yards, you are going to win this game.
I actually don't remember you saying that, so I
Yeah,
can't
you don't
confirm that.
remember saying it because I was doing it with Tim. But that was my prediction. You stop Zeke, you stop the game. You can't have Dak Prescott decide the fate of the Cowboys. It's just he
Dak
doesn't.
wasn't even. He wasn't bad.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah, Dak
not
wasn't
bad, but
terrible.
this is the whole point. He's not good enough. He's
Yeah.
not good enough.
He put up a solid Dak. But the thing that hurt was the fact that he didn't have Zeke.
Oh yeah, this is a full Dak performance. You got 1 touchdown, 266.
Well, he didn't have a pick, though.
Yeah, but still,
He had a
20
rush
for
touchdown,
32?
too.
that's
Yeah.
that's a perfect Dak right there.
Yeah, but there's no pick. He's always good for at least one pick or one fumble, and he didn't have. Did he have a fumble? No, he didn't.
Yeah, no.
No. So, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a full Dak.
It was a Dak in my
It was
opinion.
it was better than a Dak, and it's still yet didn't equate to anything because of the lack of Zeke.
No,
lack
this
of
is
rushing.
this is a playoff Dak right here because playoff Dak is slightly better than regular season Dak. I'll give him that.
Well, it's never going to be good enough to beat anybody else that's good.
Yeah.
So good that is.
Talk about a person who did very well in the Cowboys is Gallup. He caught
Yeah,
100,
that's right.
20 yards, 9 targets.
He actually only had 119 yards.
Yeah,
That makes it seem like he was better.
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh.
I meant.
That 44-yard touchdown that he had, that actually had a 26.9% completion based off the factors, QB, speed of the pass, which is a whopping 13.7, not that quick. And then total separation, which he had a total of 1.1 yards. It was actually the most improbable completion of the entire game. That went to Gallup.
One person who I thought would have a bigger role in the pass game would be Blake Jarwin.
Todd Gurley.
No, Blake
Wait, who?
Jarwin. Yeah, I honestly thought that he was gonna do a little bit
Oh.
better. And I mean,
Who was that again?
Jarwin on the tight
Yeah,
end for the
some guy.
Cowboys.
Yeah, he's a one-hit wonder is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but
He
I
had
thought
that
that he would use
one
him
good
more. I
game.
thought he would utilize him more. I
But
don't know.
he hasn't shown, like, Dak only showed all that. He had, like, no trust for him during the season. It's like he was saving up all this trust, and then he just let it all out that one game. He was like, fuck it, Jarwin's the man in this game. And then he ran out of it, and then he went back to his usual Cooper, and then, I guess Gallup this game. So, I mean,
Yeah,
Dak
Cooper-
doesn't spread it a whole
Cooper
lot.
didn't do too bad this game. He had a touchdown and 65 yards, but he wasn't the Amari Cooper that the Cowboys have been, having wet dreams about for the past couple weeks.
Yeah. Well, the past couple weeks, he hasn't been doing too hot. He was on, like, a real tear, and then, like, he settled down a lot, and I think last week he did well. And this week he did all right.
No,
so.
this is exactly what I thought would happen to the Cowboys as soon as they played a really good defense, and I'm not
Oh.
surprised. I'm really not surprised at all. If you
You
put a
can't
good
put it on,
secondary
like,
against Cooper,
Cooper
he's
or
not
anything.
gonna do much.
But it's not even Cooper's fault. It's the fact that once you're down, like the Cowboys were down, like they can predict that shit, so they can just sit one on him and then sit one deep over Cooper, and then that's it, because they are not going to run the ball.
So you're saying
and
that
when
you
they do run the
think
ball, they can't.
you think that if they would have got up and they would have kept the lead for a little bit, you think that Cooper would have
Could have had a big game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they become more unpredictable. When an offense is down and they're only throwing, then all you gotta do is shut down their number one, and then you're done.
I don't know. I'm
And then
just
they
not
shut
buying
down
it.
Cooper.
I'm
They
just
shut
not
down
buying it.
Zeke. How
Because
wouldn't you buy it? It's a fact.
Cooper's that guy who he's not the most amazing receiver in the league, and he probably won't ever be that. He was
What
good
if
in
Derek
his
Carr is just really bad?
what?
I don't think he is though.
I
He's
think he
talking
is.
about like the reason why Cooper looks so bad is because maybe Carr's just bad. I don't think Carr's terrible. I think he's an okay quarterback. I think he's better than Dak Prescott.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm saying.
But I think for Cooper battling that offense, I think it was just the fact that he wasn't good there. Like he was just shit. He was dropping everything. Didn't matter how much was
don't
coming
think he
his way,
wanted to play
wasn't
for the
catching it.
Raiders, but like part of me thinks that it was like a character based thing with him not wanting to be on the Raiders and stuff, but
I mean, who would want to be on the Raiders this year?
I know
John
that
Gruden.
not a lot of people can sit there and take what John Gruden gives out, so I'm not really surprised. But even before he came in, it's just Cooper just lacked motivation on this team, and I don't
He was
know.
butts last year.
He's still kind of bad, in my opinion. I mean, he had a couple good games. Obviously, you're gonna have that when you have a new threat coming in. You've
Yeah.
a guy who you don't know if you should overplay him or underplay him. So he doesn't know the playbook. So you're like, oh well, they're probably not gonna go to him more times than not. So you know what I mean?
Sure. I guess. I think we should probably just stop talking about Marty Cooper. Like, tune in later in the week when we go on our Marty Cooper podcast, and then you can hear a full hour of him. I think we should be talking more about the Rams though and their success,
Yeah.
considering they're the ones that are moving on.
You want to hear an interesting little fact here? So 11
No, I don't want
personnel, and if anyone out there doesn't know, it's when you have one receiver, or not one receiver, one tight end, one running back, and 3 wide receivers. The Rams ran 96% of their plays the entire season out of a single formation. And they were so successful in running that because I feel like it's very simple because so they can run everything out of one formation. They have a bunch of trickery with the sweeps and stuff, but I think it keeps it simple for golf, and it really having the same guys out there, the same formations helps them keep the offense simple and as efficient as they can. And the players that they help that because 2016 Ben McAdoo on the Giants used 11 personnel 92% of the snaps, and they weren't very good that year. So I think it goes to show how good of a coach McVay is and how talented the Rams team is, especially on offense.
Dude, I loved his variety and play calling on Saturday. That was just, dude, it was so much fun to watch. The up tempo. Oh man, Jared Goff actually looked pretty poised under center, so I'll give him
But he
credit
didn't
there.
have a great game. He only went 15 for 28 with a $186.
Yeah, but he was
But,
commanding
yeah.
his backfield. He was
Yeah, but it
If you're
doesn't
able to run,
matter
yeah.
when your running backs have 273 rushing
Yeah, you're
yards.
over 273. You dominate time of possession.
Yeah,
You don't have to do much.
like it doesn't matter what the hell Goff does or who your quarterback is.
You know what's kind of crazy? The fact that they had 273 rushing yards, but it still doesn't even compare to Eric Dickerson's record against the Cowboys in '85 when he ran for 248.
That's lots of the yards.
Although a lot of people thought that C.J. Anderson could have possibly gotten there.
If they would have just fed CJ only, he would have. Yeah.
Oh my god! If he would have got all Gurley's yards, oh, that would have been quite interesting. Not gonna lie. He
would've
he
been.
has so much mass behind him. Like how do you tackle a guy like that?
So what do we
C.J.
think is
Anderson?
what do we think is the most likely here? C.J. Anderson, next best running back in the league. Dallas defense sucks, or Sean McVay, best coach in the league.
Ugh, dude, I'm gonna have to give it to
Sean
Sean
McVay.
McVay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to him. I really liked what I seen on offense from them.
Yeah, his play calling is too out of the box to where like defenses can't scheme towards any of it. And the Dallas defense didn't look bad whatsoever, like leading up to all the games against them. And
Well,
like they looked good against top tier teams. It's just that McVay is just a genius on offense.
Obviously, he's seen something that other people did not see because we seen it in Seattle last week. The Cowboys shut down the run, and they're supposed to be the leading rushing team heading into that game. So
They were the leading rushing team.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what does Sean McVay do? He goes out there and pretty much punches it down their throat, and it worked. He stuck to the
That's
game
not gonna
plan.
twist it. The Rams have a really talented team. It's not
Yeah.
like he's coaching up scrubs.
One thing I'll say
Yeah.
is that they have
High
a
school
way
team.
more diverse running game, but I don't know. It's just
But
there's been a lot of teams that tried, like the Saints tried against him. They have two of the best running backs in the game right now.
We're
and-
talking about the Saints and the Cowboys game.
yeah,
In the Cowboys game. Yeah, I think the Cowboys in that game. We don't gotta really talk about it because it doesn't matter. But I think the Cowboys just had a perfect game plan on defense that game, and that's what. And they just didn't know how to get around them.
no. Part of the thing that I think was a success for the Rams is the up tempo offense and the fact that they were literally using as much clock as they could before and after to confuse the Cowboys defense. They were coming out there, they were throwing mixed cadences, all kinds of different things that like the linebackers were so confused. Like I remember it zoomed in on Jalen Smith's face at one point, and he just like he looked like he was lost, like he's never played football in his life, and he was sweating. He's tired. He pretty much just exposed them for how unconditioned they are, I feel.
I don't think the Cowboys are in condition. It's hard when you are just getting completely dominated on time of possession and they're running the ball every time. It's
Yeah.
one thing if it's quick short passes, but when it's just they're just running the ball at you every play and you can't get off the field, it's got to be demoralizing.
Well, it's got to be frustrating to be a defensive player when you have that happen to you. One of the things that I didn't like that the Cowboys did was they pulled Van Der Esch out and they put Sean Lee in.
they have to. Can't run the guy every single play. You got to give him a break.
Yeah, but they pretty much just
He's just a baby.
they pretty much like were like, okay, Van Der Esch, you're out. Lee's in now. Like he's been gone for so long, and you kind of earned this spot, but fuck you.
But a healthy Sean Lee is a good Sean Lee, and if you can use Sean Lee, why wouldn't you?
Well,
He's one
evidently
of the
not.
best
He didn't do
punch
that
set
much.
linebacker.
He had 4 solo tackles. He had 7 total.
If Sean Lee played all game, the Cowboys would win the Super Bowl.
Sure.
I don't know. I didn't
But-
like that move. I think you got to
What are
keep
you
him
gonna
in
do?
there. Let him get the experience, in my opinion.
Relaying back to what you said though, Tim, with the Rams not being like scrubs or anything, like with McVay, like he's coaching good players. What were the Rams before McVay? Like, did Jared Goff not look like the biggest bust of all time?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Before McVay?
I'm glad you brought that up because I've been thinking about this. Just give me a second here. I think that Jeff Fisher is all time one of the worst coaches in the history of football.
Oh yeah,
no,
he's
I
pretty
don't
bad.
think he's one of the worst. I think he's one of the most like
Stubborn.
good coaches.
He's so
Yeah,
average.
He is a quarterback wasteland, and that is why I think, like I
He's
said,
what
very
Andy
off
Reid
topic, but I
isn't.
think Steve McNair is one of the most criminally underrated quarterbacks of all time because he got a team with Jeff Fisher as the head coach, within 2 yards of tying a Super Bowl, taking it to overtime. Yeah, it's just Jeff Fisher. I mean, he was never going to work with golf. How the hell would anyone think that would work? It was so clear he was going to be out of there. But
Yeah.
before him, yeah, I mean, golf looked absolutely terrible. I mean, he
Yeah.
pretty much was the worst quarterback. I mean, he didn't play all year his first rookie year, right?
No. I
Did
think
he
he played
start?
the ending. He finished out the season, I think 0-7 or something like that.
Yeah, he was really
He looked
bad.
god awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
He
like
looked
another guy,
awful.
like what was Robert Woods before Sean McVay? He was in Buffalo, sure, but last year he had 781 yards, which was actually like an okay year. Before that though, his best year was only 699. This year with the Rams, when they were as high powered as they were, he had 1200, nearly doubling his statistically best year receiving yards wise that he's had like ever, like before McVay.
Yeah, if I remember right, I think he had like pretty much all career highs this year, and pretty much every
Yeah,
stat.
they were all career highs. Yeah, and it's all because of McVay, like the offense that he runs, and like Brandon Cooks, like he was traded around, like no tomorrow, and like sure he was something
Yeah.
before, but like now, I mean he set another. Well, he just set his own personal best in yards as well. Touchdowns weren't the same. He had a lot of targets. He had the most receptions since 2015 with New Orleans. So
Yeah, it's a shame for LA that Cooper Cup is injured because he really, when he went out, they stopped. They weren't as good on offense as they had been before he got hurt.
yeah,
And I still don't think they've been as good on offense in any of the games since he's been out.
no, because
Cooper
they
Kupp's
don't
definitely
use
a key
Josh
player in
Reynolds
that
the way that
offense.
they use him.
hmm
Yeah, Cooper Cup is. And when you have the 1-2-3 punch out receiver,
But
of
here's the
Kupp,
whole
Woods,
thing though.
and
It's like
Cooks, ridiculous.
Cooper Cup, like I don't know if he'll ever be like an all-star without Sean McVay. Like if he would go somewhere else, I don't feel like he would be
Well, I don't
good.
think a lot of players. I don't think Jared Goff would either.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, one thing I have to
Like,
say is
some
I
people
really
need
do
somebody
think
else.
like I know it's only been like what 2 seasons as him being a head coach here. I
Yeah.
think he's gonna go down as a Hall of Fame coach.
if he continues at the rate in which he's at, sure.
I'm saying it
But
right
if-
now. He's gonna be a Hall
If
of Fame
teams
coach.
figure it out, like that offense for some weird reason, like they shut it down, like, and he just runs them into the ground, like then no. He'll go down as like one of the biggest one-hit wonders in coaching history.
Well, he's also the youngest
Which I
coach to ever
doubt.
win a playoff game. He beat what is it, John Madden's record? It was like 30,
I don't know.
34,
I'll tell you what,
33, 34. Sean McVay's what, 32?
that's turducken.
So there you go. That's already one thing solidifying it. So all he has to do is win a Super Bowl, and then he's pretty much there.
Yeah,
He's
all
better
he's
than
gotta
John
do-
Madden, just like that.
Yep.
Yeah, all he has to
Let
do
me
is just
tell
win
you
a Super
something
Bowl.
here about
That's
Sean
it.
McVay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You guys want to get on to this next great game?
Eagle Saints.
No.
All right, yeah, let's move on. We'll do Chargers Patriots next, guys.
What happened?
Yeah, what did
What
happen? That's
happened
the real
is,
question.
Philip Rivers is now 0-8 against Tom Brady in his career.
So bad. He looked
Who
awful.
who would have guessed that Philip Rivers chokes in the playoffs again?
Yeah,
It
crazy.
wasn't even like it was the pressure. It wasn't Philip Rivers himself. I mean, sure, you can blame it on him because he wasn't able to do much, but
He was bad. A sub 50% completion rating for someone like him. That's fucking atrocious.
Do you know what the experts thought this score was going to be, Tim?
Well, who's the expert?
Like the Fox Sports prediction had this game 26-23,
Well, people were talking
the
about
most average score of the league. So like really?
If you listen to betting shows or whatever, people are just telling you to put money on the Chargers, and it's like, I mean, I guess it's a decent bet because whatever, I forget what the line was, but how are you gonna bet
They were only
against the
4.5,
Patriots?
dude. They were only 4.5
Yeah,
early in the
and the
week.
Chargers were one of the best teams in the regular season, so it just, I don't know, very
said, the pressure.
stereotypical Chargers.
it's the pressure. Okay, here's a fun stat. Here's your next gen stat. No QB has faced a higher rate of pressure this year than Philip Rivers in a game this season. It was 71%. This week against the Patriots, he had a 70.6% pressure rate. Can you imagine dropping back and getting pressured that much?
Well, it
Like,
definitely
there's an
shows in
excuse
his
for why he
numbers.
didn't do anything.
He
Yeah,
got
his
hit.
numbers
He
were
got
terrible.
hit 7 times and was sacked twice.
Yeah, he was getting knocked around like no tomorrow.
Not he was getting bounced around in the pocket like a beach ball at a Nickelback concert.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Exactly just like that. And then, like, it was the lack of, like, offensive line in general that killed him because, and then only Melvin Gordon only had 15 yards on 9 carries.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing on offense. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You look at Philip Rivers and how little time he had to throw the ball, and then you look at Tom Brady and you look at how much time he had to throw the ball, and you're just like, yeah,
only had all day.
I'm not
Sorry.
surprised that they got destroyed.
I mean, a quarterback as good as Philip Rivers shouldn't, just because he doesn't have time doesn't mean that he's not going to be able to make passes. Like, I don't know, when they scored that touchdown with who was that? Was whoever was on their second drive of the game when they had that long touchdown? It kind of looked like, okay, they're going to come
Oh,
back.
the Chargers?
Yeah,
To a wide
and
open Keenan Allen?
yeah, it was Keenan. I thought it was Keenan Allen, but yeah, I mean that was just the one mistake the Patriots made all day, and that was it. It was
Yeah.
just all New England.
I just couldn't believe how like every single
So
time they got the
sad.
ball, they literally just drove down the field and scored. Like it was like nothing. Like it was
Yeah,
just
on a
like
good defense.
walk on touchdowns. Like seriously, I blame more
It wa-
of this game on their defense. Like they're
was-
supposed
yeah, it
to
was
be a
the-
top what? I think they were ranked 11 actually.
They were top. But it's that stupid DB heavy
No, the
defense
Chargers
that
were
they
ranked
ran.
9 overall. Their
Are
defense.
their defenses? I
Well,
knew it was
yeah,
somewhere
I
around
mean,
there.
it's net yards. That's kind of what's used for total. But yeah, they were 9.
But do you know what the most frustrating thing about their defense was? It was the fact that they were so defensive heavy, but the Patriots were incredibly predictable when they had their running back on the field. When they had Michelle on the field, they ran it 82% of the time. When they have Michelle and Devlin, they ran it 90% of the time.
Yeah.
When they had White on the field, they passed it 97% of the time.
How many
And yet
receptions?
the
He had
Chargers
15
could not
receptions.
figure it out.
Tied the record for most receptions in a playoff game.
Yeah, and the Chargers couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And then when you're sitting there playing zone against Tom Brady, he's going to rip you apart all game. And they never learned it.
Well, they played with like 7 defensive backs the entire
Yeah.
game, which
Yeah, it
they
was
did in the
stupid.
Raiders game or the Ravens game, which that worked in that
It
game.
was Lamar Jackson. There's a
Yeah.
huge difference between Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady.
Yeah. No
Like,
kidding.
they're not
huh?
even on the same planet. But
I think
was
the
just-
Chargers just didn't want to win
stupid.
this game. Like what? Why? Why would you
the
sit
play
back and
calling
let
on
that
defense
happen?
made it seem like they wanted to go home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gus Bradley that was a really badly called game from him, and Anthony Lynn didn't do much better.
Yeah, it was stupid play calling on both sides of the ball. It was like they came into that game like with a day of preparation. They didn't know anything or what to do against the Patriots, like they'd never seen them before.
Yeah, like the Chargers were like the complete opposite of the Rams.
Yeah, it was stupid LA.
Chargers looking
LA.
like the Dallas Cowboys out here.
Yeah.
Well, they have
Dumb.
probably as many fans as they do in LA as the Cowboys do. So,
Yeah.
well, actually,
Yeah,
Cowboys
all
probably
year,
have more. Actually, I'm not gonna lie.
I was so sick of all year hearing about people predicting a LA Super Bowl. And it's just like, yeah, the Rams
I
might
wanted
make it,
it.
but I know the Chargers aren't going to make it.
A lot of people had the Chargers
They
as their
could've.
favorite to like pretty much be the
I know.
underdogs going to the Super Bowl, and it's just
Not me.
I wasn't sold on it. Not gonna lie.
I mean, I was
sold.
during the regular. I mean, I was sold on being a good team. I wasn't sold on making it anywhere.
Well,
in the
yeah,
playoffs 'cause they
I'd
never
expect
did.
them to make the playoff run. I don't think they were gonna go to the Super Bowl though. I don't think that was ever a question for me.
Especially against maybe if they play the Chiefs, then maybe I could see.
They
it,
beat
but
the Chiefs.
I know that's what I'm saying.
I wanted the
Maybe I
Chargers
could
to win
see
though.
it.
I'll tell you that
But
much.
you knew they weren't going to go into.
Yeah,
Fox
all of
Field.
America wanted the Chargers to win. Just like all this week, like surprisingly, all these Chiefs fans came out of nowhere this week.
Andy.
There's so many Chiefs fans.
That's because they all converted from the Chargers.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, our team's out next in our division.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they're doing. They're just rooting against the Patriots, you idiot. Nobody
Exactly.
wants them to win.
Well, yeah, I definitely want to see the Chiefs dismantle the Patriots, but I don't know if they can. Tom Brady is just too good. I
Yeah,
don't
they can-
have
That'll
anything
be
to
in
say.
our,
I don't have anything to say about this
championship
game.
weekend preview.
He threw a 77.3% percentage in his passes. That's so accurate. So accurate.
Yo, this just in. Tom Brady's a good quarterback.
Oh, really?
Okay, first of all, I never said that Tom Brady wasn't a good quarterback. I just don't think he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
I
But
mean, he won 5. Probably going to win
he's
6.
been playing. He's been playing like a little iffy this season.
Has he though?
When it
This
comes
game
time to
doesn't. This
playoffs,
game
though,
doesn't show that at all. This game
Who
shows that
cares
he's
about the
like
regular
in his
season?
prime.
When you get to the playoffs, that's all that matters. And Tom Brady came out like normal Tom Brady in the playoffs and absolutely dismantled defense, and that's all that matters.
One thing though is I did take note that he's still checking down a lot though, so that kind of like helps his
No,
percentage.
he's
a
done what
little
he's
bit.
always done and takes what the defense gives him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, he wasn't sacked a single time, so whatever he was doing was working, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Quick pass.
Well, look,
It's
the
wild.
longest
Tom
throw
Brady,
he made was 35 yards, and I don't even think that was him throwing it. I'm pretty sure it was.
his
Edelman.
27th playoff win. Second is Joe Montana with 16.
Yeah. Oh, that's the stat that I was trying to look for. He has more playoff wins than like a lot of the
Did
greats
you just
now.
bring up Montana?
Like have starts.
Yeah, why?
Well, I have something interesting to tell you about Montana. Comparing to Tom Brady, Montana's never thrown an
Go ahead.
interception in a Super Bowl, and he's never lost one either. So
He only won 4 though, and Tom Brady won 5.
that
Yeah,
doesn't
he's
matter.
also never won 5 Super Bowls.
He also
You
went
could
to
say
8.
the same argument for Michael Jordan and LeBron. Like LeBron's
Okay,
been to
yeah,
more.
no, okay. This is so dumb. I can't believe what I say.
Tom
But why
Brady's
does-
LeBron.
Yeah.
But listen, why does
No.
Tom Brady get penalized for making it to more than Montana did?
Because he
It's
lost
like
Super Bowls, and he
Okay,
also
but Montana in the years where he didn't win a Super Bowl, he got knocked out before the Super Bowl.
dude.
So
If
why
you're
does
undefeated
Brady,
in a Super Bowl, that's what people care about.
yeah, but why didn't he make it to 8? If he was as good as Brady, he would have made it to 8.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know because it doesn't make any sense. It's the same thing with LeBron. It's like LeBron
Because
gets
when the
penalized for
when
making it
the
to more
49ers
finals.
were good, they also had another dynasty coming into play, which was the Cowboys.
So
I mean,
what about all the
the
times where they got
Patriots
knocked?
don't have
what
any
about-
other teams that are like so dominant in their era that like they have like no competition on the AFC side of the ball.
I mean, they did. It was Peyton Manning and the Colts, but they just beat him every year.
not really. I mean, Peyton Manning, he's always been
They
good.
had the
but it's just-
Steelers.
It's not
They
the
beat 'em.
same.
Sorry, Garrett.
It's not the same.
I'm a
It's
Browns
not
fan.
the
Don't
same.
care.
These weren't overall dynasties.
Okay, your opinion's dumb. Can we move on?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. Why would you get penalized for making it to more? I mean, Joe Montana was in the playoffs. I mean, he didn't play as long as Brady, but he was in the playoffs every year, and the years he only made it to 4. So that means he got knocked out in every other year before the Super Bowl. Brady made it to 8.
There's always underlying reasons. It's not always just comes down to the quarterback.
Yeah, what is it? Like having the greatest receiver of all time?
How about
Is that what
having
it
a
is?
top 10 offense and defense every single year?
Yeah, it's
Not
his
his
fault.
fault.
He's a good defense.
Well, anyways, I'm just done. I'm not gonna talk about
Top
this
10
anymore.
offense is given when you have Tom Brady.
I'm not I'm not gonna talk about this anymore.
Exactly. 'Cause
I
your
just hope that
butthurt
they
is
lose
better
next
than
week.
Rodgers.
Come on, Chiefs, you gotta pull through and beat Tom Brady.
I mean, honestly, I don't really care. I would be fine. I want to see Andy Reid win, but if the Patriots win, whatever. I don't want to see the
Yeah.
Rams or the Saints win.
I'm rooting for the Patriots now just to shut Ryan up.
Speaking of the Saints, let's move on to the next game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't you
Who
hate
dat? Who dat?
Don't
Who
you hate
dat?
it when a season just slips through your fingers like that?
Let's talk about the real GOAT, Drew Brees. Who dat?
Oh yeah.
The real
Won
GOAT.
the Super Bowl. The real goat. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The stat goat, baby. The stat goat.
Yeah.
You see the one meme? It was like the 10-year transformation thing. Like everybody's doing that, and then I see one today.
What was it? Drew Brees won Super Bowl. 10 years later, won Super Bowl.
No.
No.
It's Drew Brees 10 years ago wins Super Bowl, and then new pitcher. It's just a baby goat.
Yeah, you're welcome for that.
Such a great one. I loved it.
Oh, it's adorable.
Oh man, Drew Brees was pretty
Bengals fan.
spectacular this game. 73
This game
completion
sucked.
rate, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw an interception, but overall
Yeah,
he
he
pretty much led his team to a victory.
Played like
here.
Breeze did.
Yep.
I mean, he's
I,
done that
I
all
gotta be
year.
honest. When the Eagles went up 14-0 after Foles got that QB sneak and scored, literally in my head I'm just like, they're gonna win the Super Bowl. Like, not a doubt in my mind, they're winning the fucking Super Bowl
Yeah,
again this year.
myself and Ryan were pretty pissed, like just sitting there just watching because we're like, what
Oh
the
yeah, I
hell's
was
happening?
pretty upset.
Meanwhile, we have Tommy next to us. Yeah, baby! Like screaming, and we're just like looking at him like, dude, why are you even here right now? Shouldn't you be at a bar somewhere?
You know,
Here's how the Eagles' offense went. It was those 2 quick scores followed by interception, 5 punts, and another interception.
Yeah,
Every game.
they really shut down after that first like what?
you
2
know what
drives
you
or
need
whatever
to
it was?
do to win games? You need to play 4 quarters of football. You can't just play 2.
Well,
I mean, the same.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Foles throughout his whole career, he's been a guy who, if you let him hit his first option every time, he's gonna completely destroy you. That's what he did last year. It's what he did in the 5 road games that they won in a row previous to this. But the Saints started taking it away, and they made him kind of stand there in the pocket waiting for someone to open up. And their secondary, which isn't hadn't played back great all year, played really well.
One thing I'll say is the Saints came out looking like the last couple weeks of the regular season Saints, and then at halftime they
Yeah.
transformed back to the team that you
I mean,
expect to
before
win the
halftime,
Super
it was the
Bowl.
second quarter. It was like the momentum shifted somewhere around that second interception or that Foles interception, the first one, and that fake punt there. I mean, can we
I
say
think-
Yeah.
Ryan Ramczyk there when he recovered that fumble when Brandon Graham strip sacked Drew Brees, I think he saved him the game because the Eagles would have had the ball on like the Saints 30-yard line. Like Foles was
Yeah.
hot. If they would have scored there, I mean, I don't know if they would. I think they would have won the game. So I mean, they recovered that, and they'd take that, turn it into the fake punt, and a touchdown on a long
See,
drive.
They could have won the game, but when you're talking
They didn't
about
deserve
teams,
to.
when you're talking about teams that win Super Bowls, you're talking about teams that can overcome adversity and being down
Like
by
the
so
2018
much.
Eagles, or the 2017 Eagles, like them.
Yeah, like when you're down by so much, like you're down 14 points in the first quarter. Like, what are you gonna roll over and just
Yeah.
die? Like, no, you gotta pull yourself out, and you gotta put yourself
Exactly.
above that.
Like the Patriots, 28-3.
Exactly.
On
It
that,
also helps.
what were you saying?
Oh, I was gonna say like it helps with Breeze too. Like the reason why they won when he spreads the ball as much as he did. He only threw to Michael Thomas 12 times. He only had 171 yards.
He only targeted them 16
Only.
times too. So.
Yeah, and when
Only.
you throw the ball around that much, I mean, your next guy had 44 yards.
Yeah,
And
I
when
really,
Breeze
I
gets to
really
do that,
like how
yeah.
Breeze spread it out through his receivers.
Yeah.
Just that one guy.
His next leading receiver was actually his running back.
Here-
Kamara.
I mean, as
Here's
an
the
Eagle,
question:
Four
like,
catches.
Avonte Maddox is literally getting picked apart on defense. Michael
He
Thomas is
wasn't on Michael Thomas every time, though.
Yeah.
But the majority of the
doesn't
plays,
stay on
though,
the
he was covering him. Okay, so then why don't you do something about this? Why don't you maybe pull him out of the game? Why don't you adjust his
What are
game
you gonna
plan?
do
Like do
against-
something. do something.
What are you supposed to do against a great quarterback throwing to a great receiver? I mean, there's not that much you can do.
Well, here's one of the things that I noticed about Maddox this game. Okay,
Sit back and watch.
so I said during the predictions that I felt like Maddox was gonna be exposed. Drew Brees is gonna target that side a lot, and that did happen a lot, as we've seen. But I said about him being very aggressive in this game. There was no aggressiveness at all. He was pretty much just fading back, misreading Michael Thomas at every step. He almost didn't really cover him. He was giving him so much ground, and I feel like maybe the coaches told him to back off a little bit, considering the last game against the Bears, he was a little bit too aggressive. I don't know.
Two things. Avonte Maddox is young. He's only 22.
Well, yeah, he is.
And
He's still a good
Jim
player.
Schwartz has to go.
Yeah, he does.
Jim Schwartz is so bad.
I mean, it's just like,
This is funny.
how many times throughout those long drives, I mean, they had a scoring drive, I believe it was a tying drive, and 11-minute scoring drives. They had 2 conversions of over 15-plus yards. It's like when you keep converting 3rd and 15, 3rd and 13, whatever it is, at some point it's not on the players. At some point you have to have it on the defensive coordinator. And playing that defense they played all year, that stakes defense, is so goddamn frustrating to watch because that directly lost them multiple games. They lost that Tennessee game because of that. They lost the Panthers game because of that. And he just keeps doing the same thing. Oh, it's 3rd and 15? Better do this. Oh, it doesn't work. And then he just keeps going back to it.
Yeah, line them all up on the first down marker.
Yeah,
It's
just
so funny to watch
it's
because
like-
you know it's not going to work.
You're putting your secondary, your young, inexperienced secondary, at such a disadvantage, and you just have to hope that they make a play. Which, I mean, they did on the first play of the game. I mean, I don't know, man. If the Saints didn't have such long drives, this game would have been a fucking blowout.
Yeah,
Dude, the Saints pretty much
but they did. have it.
dominated the clock. I don't think the Eagles got a single possession during the third quarter, right? The Saints had the
did.
ball
No, they
the
did.
entire time.
It's just
The
that
Saints-
they were
yeah,
quick.
Well,
In the second, third, and fourth quarter, I believe the Saints had the ball for 10 minutes each in all those quarters.
that's
Yeah.
insane. That's literally insane.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, they were driving the ball like 92 yards.
Yeah,
The
it's
Saints just proved that they
frustrating.
don't need to outscore the Eagles. They just need to hold them off and hold them to what they have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, what they did, they started taking away Alshon. They had Marshawn Lattimore pretty much shadowing him all game. They started taking away his first option. Foles, 18 for 31, 200 yards, touchdown, 2 interception, 1 interception, but 2 technically. Yeah, I mean, Philly couldn't rush the ball. They had 49 yards all day, and it's not because they were down and they had to throw it. They just couldn't get anything going.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is the most interesting thing is the Saints. I feel like the Saints knew that if they let Nick Foles have the ball and let him throw, they were
I mean,
going
that's
to
with
lose
any
this
defense.
game. Yeah,
You
but I
always
mean,
wanna keep ball out of the
if they
opposing quarterback's hand.
let Nick Foles' magic, get more than 5 minutes.
I mean, Foles wasn't
A
great. He was
quarter.
good in those first 2 drives, and then after that, he was
Yeah.
just.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
but
he
you have to
an
think
average
he was
quarterback.
coming in cold every time because he was sitting on the bench for so long. So
You can't use that as an excuse, though.
I know, but I'm just saying it's such a good game plan to keep your defense off the field for so long and let your offense just grind them
That's-
down.
That's like every offense, though. That's what every offense dreams of doing. What the Saints just did, that's what every offense wants to be.
Well, I don't know. I think a lot of
It's a
offenses
fact.
like to score.
Yeah, but they also want to manage the clock because clock management is the biggest thing that accounts for wins.
Yeah, so what I'm expecting here is say the Saints play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl,
Sure.
say they both win. I can see the Saints winning just off of clock management alone because Andy Reid doesn't do
Further
that.
proving my point.
He don't know how to do that.
No, he never knew how. But you're getting a little ahead of yourself. So who's to say they're going to get past the Patriots, or who's to say the Saints are going to beat the Rams?
I'm just saying that should be an easy matchup for them if that happens.
I don't think any team left in this is an easy matchup. I think
Yeah.
the Saints, honestly, I think they look like the most vulnerable team left in the playoffs. I mean,
Really?
Really? How many times
Really?
did they kill themselves on those drives? A good defensive. How many? I mean, like I said, they had so many third and longs throughout this game that they converted on a bad defense versus an even worse defensive coordinator.
Well, one thing you have to remember about the Saints is
True.
they are pretty successful with the run game. Now the Eagles' defense they their front four are probably the best. So they're one of the best.
They
They're one of
took
the
the
best
run
in the
game
league.
away from a while, but when you're on the field that long, eventually the longer the defense on the field, the worse they're going to be against the run.
Okay, so what
During
I'm
the
saying
beginning
here
of the game,
is
they took the run away.
what I'm saying here is the Eagles are probably one of the best rushing defenses.
Yeah.
So then, you go into these other games, and the Saints are going to be able to rely on their run game a little bit more than they did this game. And seeing that they put 137 yards against the Eagles defense, I mean, imagine what they can do against other defenses there. You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing as an Eagles fan that really sucks is throughout all these, you're watching these 5 minute, 6 minute, and then that fucking 11-minute drive. Through all that, Will Lutz misses a field goal, and you have a chance at the end of the game.
Oh my god, dude! I saw that happen, and I literally thought, I'm like, Nick Foles is driving down the field. They're gonna win this game, and it's gonna be another field goal victory game. Just like the luck, the
they
luck
needed
of Nick
Thank
Foles.
God for Alshon.
I think they would. I think if Alshon, I mean that's he makes that catch 99 times out of 100. I mean, he has some of the best hands in the league.
Yeah.
I have no idea what happened. That was just.
I was so surprised when I saw like Alshon. I'm like, it was probably a bad throw. And then like they showed it in slow motion. I was like, nope, that was just him.
That was a perfect throw.
Honestly, I think if that doesn't happen, I don't know if they win, but I think they score, and they would have Saints probably would have had a minute left. Just
field score. Yeah.
Maybe.
How about the fact that
very
in the receiving game they didn't even use Goddard at all on the Eagles?
Well, they didn't have very many chances. I mean, after those first two drives, I mean, they were 3 and out. I don't.
But still, they didn't even try to target him once. I don't even know if they played on the field together at all.
50 yards. It's not like they didn't use a tight. They used the tight end.
But I'm saying like the dual tight end threat is one of the things that the Eagles have going for them right now.
The Eagles don't usually use Ertz and Goddard at the same time. Generally, it's one or the other who's in the game.
I've seen them use that scheme before though.
No, they have, but it's usually just one or the other. I mean, Zach Ertz. 5 receptions, 50 yards. It's not a bad game.
Yeah, it's not a bad game, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I feel like he could have been.
I don't think getting Goddard involved would have helped. Because Zach Ertz is just. He's the better tight end on the team, but
no doubt.
It just their offense really started sputtering. Part of that I think is Brandon Brooks going down. That was unfortunate. What the hell is up with that field? What the fuck happened? Where so many players went down. Like, what was that?
I don't know.
Are you talking about the injuries?
No, well, Cameron Reagan's on the Saints go down. He tore his Achilles, I think. You're not even hearing anything. I think that's what happened. Then you had Cox go down. He was out for a couple of series.
Didn't Brandon Graham? He's out now.
No, Brandon Brooks.
Oh, that's
their guard. Yeah, the All-Pro guard. He went down. They had Russell Douglas out. It was unfortunate.
Wait, are you sure that Brandon Graham didn't go down? I thought I saw that he was out.
It was Brandon Brooks, their offensive lineman. He got carted off. He tore something. I don't recall. But,
something though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So not good.
Anyways, Fletcher Cox came out for a little bit, and then Bennett as well, and dude, their whole defensive line was falling apart.
Dude, their defensive line. But in the moments where they needed to come, the defensive line. I don't put any of this on them.
They played good football, even continuing after injuries, and you know that those guys came back in and they were still hurting. They weren't fine.
Yeah, Fletcher Cox. Yeah, Fletcher Cox is gonna play through. We saw in the Rams game, he got hurt. He was out for a series and then came back. When you have a stubborn defensive coordinator who's never going to blitz anyone ever, it's hard to rely on your defensive line to get to the quarterback, especially someone like Drew Brees who can get rid of the ball so quickly.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things that Dallas did so well against the Saints is they put so much pressure on Brees after saying about how protected he was during that game. Like, I can't see why the Eagles wouldn't try that.
Well, Jim Schwartz just does not. He just doesn't blitz. That's just kind of his thing. Yeah.
Talk about being the definition of insanity, trying things over and over again and trying to expect different results.
Hey, it almost worked.
Coach.
It almost worked.
Well, almost doesn't win you Super Bowls.
Hey, they won last year though.
Well,
keep on living in the past.
Tim, one person I didn't notice on the field making any plays. Why was Josh Adams out?
I don't know. Maybe I just don't think that. Obviously we don't see what happens in practices or workouts or whatever. Maybe they just didn't have much confidence in him. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't like that play. I don't like that. I still think that the Eagles have one of the better depths in the league for that position.
Yeah, I think going forward, this game, I have not lost any confidence in them going forward at all.
Yeah, they'll still be a contender in my opinion. They need
mean,
to. They need to take. Like it. How hard is it for teams to go back to back Super Bowls? You almost always have that 1 year in between where they don't go back, and the Eagles are going to take this as a lesson. They're going to go back, rebuild their roster a little bit, and they're going to get healthy, and then they're probably going to be a contender again. There's no doubt about that.
It's starting off as poorly as they did and fighting back and making the playoffs, going against the Saints, almost taking the Saints. I mean, it shows so much fight from that team. And I think Doug Peterson is, I gave him shit in the beginning of the year and the middle of the season, but I think he's one of the best coaches, one of the best young coaches in the league.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's not better than Sean McVay, so you can't say the best.
Well, one is a Super Bowl and one doesn't. So
the best. He said one of the best.
You know who's one of the best players on the field, though? How about Taysom Hill? Oh, yeah. That dude is miraculous.
Yeah, he's actually a lot of fun to watch now.
He's always been fun to watch. You guys are just haters. I love watching him. He plays every position. What's not to like about that guy?
Yeah, I enjoyed watching him after he blocked that one punt. And now I'm all for Taysom Hill being on the field. I don't think they should use him a whole lot, but he is pretty unpredictable. He's just a wild guy.
I love watching him, and it's just like, where the hell is he lining up now? And you're just like, what is he gonna do?
So much energy.
And you know what's funny though? Like I don't think like anybody really expected him to bomb it out to Kamara in the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, and that got pulled back, dude. That would have been one of the most insane plays of the game.
If the Saints are as undisciplined as they were in this game going forward, I don't see them winning. They tried to kill those drives so many times, and Drew Brees bailed that. The Drew Brees and Jim Schwartz bailed them out so many times.
Jim Schwartz bailed them out. So
who
is playing? Who is actually part of the Saints personnel? With Jim Schwartz actually wearing Saints clothing underneath his Eagle gear.
I mean, hell, Jim Schwartz as a coach, his average. I mean, I said this in the last episode. His average against the Saints prior to this game, he gave up 31 points. Never gave up less than 31 points against the Saints. So, I mean, really, when you go against the mean here, this is a good game for Jim Schwartz when it comes to playing the Saints. But
yeah, Tim. So how can you blame him? You have to just blame the offense on this. They didn't produce.
I think Jim Schwartz. Yeah, they did. But you know
they
what?
produced early in the game, and then they just dropped off. They didn't score at all for the next 3 quarters.
I said that they did. I agreed with you, but the defense played well, and I think that they got the short end of it. I don't know.
It just didn't look like a motivated Eagles offense, in my opinion. But, anyways, so we're done with this game. Let's talk about the championship matchups. What do you guys expect to see from these games? Let's start with the Patriots versus the Chiefs.
I expect to see a lot of football.
A lot of football.
Yeah, they're going to go out there and do that football. One team's going to come away with a win. I'm guaranteeing that. It's probably going to be the team that scores the most. That's about all I have to say.
I think it's going to be interesting to watch Patrick Mahomes go against a veteran defensive coordinator in Bill Belichick.
That's all they're going to be talking about is young versus old. The new school, the old school.
I honestly do think that Patrick Mahomes has what it takes to possibly overcome this Patriots team. That there's definitely one of the weaker Patriot teams that we've seen in the last couple of years.
Yeah, so you can't count Patty Mahomes out of any game that he's ever been in, like ever.
So Bill Belichick has only given up 40
You're cutting out. Repeat that.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, you're good. Just
Bill Belichick has only given up 40 points like 7 or so times his entire career. 4 of them are to Andy Reid.
Oh. Is it about to be number 5?
I don't think so. Bill Belichick, he's had a history of making life really hard for a young quarterback.
But I feel like this young quarterback is different. How many of those young quarterbacks have won the MVP?
Not a lot, that's for sure. Patrick Mahomes is something else. He's on a different level. That's what I'm saying. But I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to watch how well the Chiefs can play. I know it's supposed to be extremely cold. What? It's supposed to be like
Well, it's
Like
in
-5.
Arrowhead.
Isn't it weird how in Missouri it gets so cold?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Dude, this is gonna be so interesting. And possibly, maybe we have another deflate gate just because of the weather.
This Saturday, there's a lunar eclipse. There's going to be a
Yeah.
lunar eclipse during the
Red
game.
moon.
Ooh. You know what that means? There's some bad juju going on. Tom Brady, I got faith in Tom Brady. This lunar eclipse just made me believe in Tom Brady even more.
Yeah, because you know he's behind us.
No, dude, it's a fucking
Eclipse.
blood moon for the Kansas City Red, dude. They're gonna
Oh,
make
the blood
Tom
moon
Brady
for the-
bleed on the field. It's
Yeah.
gonna be the end of his career. He's gonna be injured, and that's done.
No,
You know
that's-
Tom Brady's going to have
Tom
all
Brady.
day back there to just do whatever he wants.
it depends on
I don't know
which
if the Chiefs
shows
defense
up.
played like they did last week. They have a chance. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, you
Yeah.
play this well once in 17 games. We'll see if they can do it again.
If
Hey.
they can do it again, though, they have a really good
The
chance.
key is to getting pressure on Tom Brady. You just gotta
Is
get
it
to him.
though? Because I don't
Yeah,
even know if
even
that's the
if he
key.
doesn't get pressured, he could still make something out of nothing. I feel like the
Huh?
key is, it's can the Chiefs stay with him in that offense?
You
as
can't get
long-
into a shootout with Tom Brady. It's not a good idea. It never is a good idea. You need to do something on the other side of the ball. You need to try to you need to stop him.
What it's
Put the
gonna be is-
pressure. Bring the
Yeah,
blitzing.
you gotta
No.
hope. You gotta hope Bob Sutton, the Chiefs' defensive coordinator,
You gotta make
actually
him feel tired and old, and I don't know.
You gotta hope he's willing to change up his play calling a little bit, unlike Gus Bradley.
You can't play zone on Tom Brady. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah. And I feel like the Chiefs know that, nor do they play zone like hard like the Chargers do. I don't know. But they have as good of a chance as anybody would have all year. Like they came close to beating them in a regular season when they faced. So
All right. So who do
And
you
the
think's
Chiefs
gonna
also
have a
got it.
better run game in this game?
probably the
Chiefs or
Patriots.
The Patriots.
Yeah, I'd go with the Patriots.
Yeah, Sony Michel against the Chiefs defense, who is notoriously known to not be able to stop running backs. Like how do you not bet them? And then the Patriots defense, who is notoriously known to stop running backs. Like everything says Patriots, unless you just want to make a bold prediction.
Well, I mean, I think probably the Patriots have a better run game, but the thing is like sometimes Sony Michel he kind of like underproduces.
Sure.
I mean, he's a rookie.
Well, yeah, he's a rookie. I mean, I know that the Patriots kind of play to whatever whatever they're playing against. So I mean, running is not always the option for them. But I mean, Sony Michel is not like that guy who goes out there and gets like 120 yards every game or something like that.
But he can. That's the thing.
Well, if given the right circumstances, he can.
Yeah, if he's given the ball 20 times, he's going to go out there and run for 120 yards.
Well,
Especially against the Chiefs defense, running wise. Like their run defense isn't good.
so then
At least it wasn't in recent memory. Last week, sure. Other than the anomaly of last week, like everything, yeah, there's just no way you wouldn't bet on Sony.
Well, there's no question.
Nope.
If you're comparing the regular season, Patrick Mahomes is obviously the better quarterback. But if you're talking about longevity and career and everything else that you're talking about, Tom Brady, obviously. So who do you guys pick? Who's going to have a better game at the quarterback position?
Mahomes, because he's going to be forced to.
So you
I think Mahomes could potentially have the better game, but that's just because that's the only option that they have to win.
Yeah, because they're not going to be able
Yeah.
to run, and Mahomes is going to be able to. He's going to be forced to throw the ball.
I mean, if
Forced
I had
to go
to,
out there and make ridiculous plays.
if I was gonna make a pick, I'd take the Patriots all day. But I think Mahomes will probably have the bigger stat line.
Yeah,
Well, isn't this the first time that the Chiefs are hosting a championship game in the entire history of the league so far?
the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, Chiefs.
And also, the Patriots usually don't have to travel. So,
Yeah, their home record that Tom Brady is a losing record in the going away in the playoffs.
yeah, this is going to be interesting for sure.
What
Maybe
is he
he'll,
on the road actually?
Maybe he'll. I don't know. I think he's 3-4, which is kind of crazy. How long he's
7
played, and he's
games.
only played 7 games on the road. That could be wrong. That's just me remembering a stat that I saw. I don't have it written down.
No, I completely believe that because how many times does he get the 1 seed? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this Patriots defense is not as I mean, this Patriots team is not as dominant as it once was, and they almost missed the second seed. Just to think that Tom Brady had pretty much guaranteed one seeds the entire time he was playing. It is mind-boggling to think that he's only played 7 road games in the playoffs with all the
Tom Brady's
trips that he's
played
made.
30 non-playoff or non-Super Bowl playoff games. 23 were at home, and only 7 were on the road.
Wow.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank God
Number
that the
1 seed,
Chargers
dude.
didn't steal that division from the Chiefs and ended up being the number 1 seed.
Oh, that would have been
And
horrible.
then the Chiefs would have had to play them next or last week potentially, and let's say the Chiefs win, or the Chiefs, not the Chiefs, the Patriots won, and then they would have to face the Chargers in the championship game. Like how bad that would have been, knowing what happened last week and how they play football. Oh my God.
Well, if I guess they would have played at Foxborough, right?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I feel like everything's right for the Chiefs this time around. So
Yeah.
where did they play earlier in the season? Did they play at home, the Patriots, or did they play away?
Pretty sure it was in Foxborough.
Okay, well, see, there might be your game changer. And like I said, I'm a big fan of teams that lose in the regular season. They win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's usually what happens. Only case in point not happening is the Saints. Actually, no,
I lied though. They're 4-3 on the road, not 3-4.
Oh, so he actually has a winning record on the road.
Well, it's not surprising either, but who knows? Maybe he'll go 500 on the road.
It was in Foxborough, by the way. 43-40, Patriots.
Yeah. Do you guys think it's
6.
gonna be another shootout?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Do you think it's gonna be lower or higher than last time?
There's no way it could be higher.
Well, there's definitely a way it could be higher. Let's talk about the Rams Chiefs game. It
Sure.
could definitely go higher.
We're just gonna do predictions right now.
Yeah, I'll
Score?
do a
If
prediction.
we do predictions now, let's make them quick. We don't. I don't want to go into
Yeah.
like predicting how the
Sure.
game goes. If we're just gonna do scores, sure.
Yeah, we'll do score right now.
I'll go in second.
All right.
Why would you say that? Why would you just not go? So, I know I missed big time with the Colts and the Chiefs game, and I thought it was going to be a
Damn.
shootout. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people missed on that one. I think it's going to be 42-38 Chiefs.
Why aren't we doing them in order? Oh wait, that isn't. No wait. Yeah, why don't we do them in order? Wait.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Okay, what the fuck am I saying? I'm lying for me.
There's only 2 games, Tim.
We're doing these way out of whack right now.
So I
Wait,
got
you called
42-38 Chiefs. That's my prediction.
You called going second.
Yeah, Garrett,
I
you're
did.
second. Go.
Hang on, let me think. I didn't have enough time. 38-36 Chiefs.
Ooh. Tim, you
But
got Patriots. I know you do.
I think it comes down to a Tom Brady drive at the end.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a game-winning drive.
Wait,
there.
did you say
I'm gonna-
Chiefs or Patriots?
I said Chiefs, but I think it's going to come down to a Tom Brady drive. Like it's either he's going to mess up or I'm going to be wrong and he's going to score. Patriots
Remember
are
when
gonna
last year in the Super Bowl when Tom Brady was going on a game-winning drive to win and he fumbled and the Eagles won?
win. Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Okay.
So, Tim, what's your
Uh,
prediction?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Patriots 35, Chiefs 34.
Ooh, that's a close one.
Yeah,
I
think
like
they're gonna
that.
come down. I think they're gonna come down and score a touchdown to win the game.
Yep. I could definitely see it.
Yeah, that's definitely something you could predict right there.
Next one.
Yeah, so
What
let's
other
talk
game
about
is there?
the Saints
What other
Rams.
games?
Saints Rams.
Is that the next one?
That's the only one left. One thing that I think that's gonna be, the deciding factor in this game is
This is another.
whether Sean
school
McVay can
result.
keep the up tempo against the Saints.
Yeah, it's literally the exact same thing as, like the Patriots Chiefs. It's 2 of the greatest to ever do it, Tom Brady and Drew Brees, going against 2 of the best now, Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes. If you want to say that Jared Goff's one of the best now.
I don't think Jared Goff's one of the best now. I think he's
No, I don't
like
know
one of
about
those
that.
guys who's just up there on a good
I think
team
he's-
with a good
I think he's
coach.
one of the goodest now.
Yeah, he's not.
He's one of the goodest quarterbacks in the league.
One of the best young guys. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I guess. Guess it
he's-
depends who you define as a young guy.
There's a fine line between
23 and under.
better
whatever he
and
is.
best.
23 and younger. That sounds really young.
It does, considering you're
How old is Carson
130.
Wentz?
Isn't he
He's-
like
He's
24?
25.
26.
Oh shit! Really?
God, he's old.
Damn.
How old is Jared Goff?
24.
Jared Goff is 24. Yeah.
What?
Why is Carson Wentz so much older? Did he get held back?
Well, Carson Wentz I think played his senior year.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Patrick
I
Mahomes
think
is
Goff.
23.
I think Goff came out as a junior or came out after his junior year. Anyway, give your fucking pick.
I'm not doing
I
my
wanna
pick.
talk
We're gonna
to
talk a
you
little bit about it.
Not you. You already get. Wait, didn't you get first?
No,
what?
he was talking about it, and I was saying about how
Oh.
it's like the opposite of the AFC, the NFC.
Why is it the opposite of the AFC?
Like I said, it's two of the greatest to ever do it. Oh God, what was that? Bless
Why
me.
didn't you mute your mic before you sneezed?
It's I didn't have enough time. It was just
That's
sneaking
bad
up on me.
radio.
It's not on me, man.
That's bad radio, dude.
We're
It's
always
just-
bad radio.
Yeah. It just came on me there. But,
Oh, you got came all over.
yeah.
Nice.
That's what she said. But, yeah, two of the greatest to ever do it, Brady and Breeze, and then two of the better young guys, Mahomes and Goff.
Except for Goff's, I don't think he's there. Like I said,
Definitely is.
I don't know. I think he's just playing for a better team and a better coach. I
We're
don't know.
literally
I mean,
repeating
no matter how
inches
good you
now.
think Goff is, I think we can all admit that Goff is in like the best situation a young quarterback can be in.
Same with Mahomes though, because he is the quarterback.
All right,
whisperer
Garrett.
of
Here's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Andy
who
Reid.
is it?
You look at the Patriots Chiefs game and you think, what quarterback am I picking? I don't know, because Patrick Mahomes is doing so well this season, and then there's Tom Brady. Like, you can't bet against him. And then you look at these two, you're like, who would I rather have on my team? It's hands down Drew Brees. Like, Jared Goff's not even in the same conversation as this guy.
Okay, so you say about how it's Drew Brees, or not Drew Brees. So you say Mahomes and Brady are in the same conversation. Yet Goff beat Mahomes. How can you not say Goff is up there?
Because their defense was better.
What do you mean their defense was better? They still gave up 50 points.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter. Well, how many of those
Like-
were defensive touchdowns?
The Rams had 2 defensive touchdowns and the Chiefs had 1.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's
So what's that? So if the defense wouldn't have, if either defense would have scored anything, who would have won that game?
Sure, if defense didn't score anything, but that's completely irrelevant.
No, it's not. Jared Goff wasn't
Yeah,
the
it
one who
is.
won that game. It was the defense.
No, it was Goff. Because if Goff put up the 6 touchdowns, they would have lost.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I just can't pick Goff over Breeze. Like, if I'm talking
that
about
game-
matchups, I'm taking Breeze every time. It doesn't matter what anybody says.
I mean, but Breeze. I mean, Breeze was good. Man, I don't know. The Saints were super undisciplined in that last game, and they weren't playing great to end the season. I mean,
Yeah,
in the
I
last
feel like
game,
they
I'm talking
played
about-
down to beat their competition. That's about it.
Played down.
Yeah.
They're the Super Bowl champions. What do you mean they played down?
The
Yeah, they
Eagles
played
have
down
not
to beat
been that
Eagles.
great this season. Look
No,
at
but
the
they took the
Bears game.
Saints
They
to the
weren't
wire.
spectacular in that game either. They didn't
Oh,
even
you mean
deserve to
playing
win that
against-
game.
You mean playing against the best defense in the league? Like, what do you mean?
Sure,
They
Nick
had to
Foles had a
take
good
that
game,
out.
but everybody else did pretty, average or less than average.
What do you expect? I don't know, man. I might be salty, but I think the Saints are overrated. They're super undisciplined. Take away Michael Thomas. Dude, just double team every time. Just double team every fucking time.
Drew Brees is just gonna pass to somebody else. He got
Only if.
Taysom Hill. He's gonna run out as receiver.
Maybe he will, but you can't let Michael Thomas beat you. I'd rather see you go down double teaming Michael Thomas every play than have him just straight up beat you.
You know how you're gonna stop Drew Brees? You need to take Marcus Peters and you need to take Akeem Talib and put them on Michael Thomas, and then that's the only way you're gonna
You can't
stop
put
him.
your two best corners on one guy.
That's the only way to stop him, dude.
It's-
That's
it's
the
sad.
only way
No,
to
it's
stop him.
not.
Yeah,
That
it is.
so stupid.
That's the only way to do it. That's the
Yo,
only way to do it.
wait,
Because Drew
is
Brees
this
is going to
Ryan
find a
or-
way to give
wait.
him the ball no matter what. No matter what they do, they're going to find a way to give Michael Thomas the ball.
Are we sure that Ryan and Jim Schwartz aren't the same person? Not-
I'm not saying I would do that. I'm just saying that's literally what you would have to do to get him to stop throwing to Michael Thomas.
I don't know, man. Just corner on
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
safety doubling.
Dude, he's gonna keep passing to him. Doesn't matter.
No, there's
telling
nothing
you
to
right
stop
now.
it.
And you really don't think that some of these like I keep him to leave. I can imagine him lining up against Michael Thomas and just like Drew Brees is gonna take advantage of that. I
I mean,
feel
maybe
he's
if
old.
the Rams, I mean, the Rams are, they're a, they're gonna be a team who blitzes more than the Eagles would. I mean, if you get to him and you take away Michael Thomas, I think the Rams can win this game. I'll pick the Rams. That's who I'm taking.
Yeah, they can definitely beat
Well,
them.
I kind of figured you were gonna take the Rams.
Well, I just think I think the Rams are a better team overall.
Well, the Rams are underdogs, obviously, because the Saints are at home. And right now, the Saints are 6-0 postseason at home. Sean Payton and Drew Brees era. So, they play better at home. And I don't see that streak coming to an end. As far as the run game goes, though, this is probably the best run game matchup. Like, I don't even know who I would rather have on my team. Like, you got Kamara and you got Ingram, and then you got Gurley and C.J. Anderson. Not that C.J. Anderson has been playing the best football, but after last game, you have to consider him up there with them.
Man,
I mean, if I'm picking one of these run games, I'd probably take the Rams, just because of recency bias.
yeah. And Gurley alone.
Well, there's no guarantee that C.J. Anderson is going to put up the same numbers that he did against the
I mean, he's done
Cowboys.
it in the last 3 games.
Yeah, he's showing consistency, and he's giving you every reason to believe in him.
I don't know. I feel like this is where
Why
his
don't you trust him, Ryan?
his road runs out. I think I'd rather still have the Saints run game. I think that's more.
Well, they have
Diversive.
2 totally different running backs.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's what's nice about them. Like, they have one who's like one of the best catching, and then they have one of the best like up the middle, like pounded in your face with Mark Ingram. And then the Rams, like, they have 2 similar backs.
I mean, you also got to think of Sheldon Rankins is out. He's done for the year. He's the Saints' best run stuffer. He's done.
I mean, you still have Cam Jordan.
I know, but Cam Jordan's a defensive end.
Yeah, but he's still a problem on the outside.
I'm not talking
Right.
about just defense. I'm not talking about like pass rush or overall defensive line. I'm just saying running game, because the Rams really want to run the ball. That's really what they want to do. And the Saints' best run stopper is out.
See, I don't know that I'm too sure about that. Like, going
Wait,
off
he's
of
out.
what the Rams did a lot at the end of their season is they wanted to pass the ball a lot.
But look what they did
Well,
against the
look at
Cowboys.
the-
They ran
yeah,
it for almost
look-
300 yards.
Yeah, just look in the playoffs. That's all that matters.
Well, there's no guarantee
Playoffs
that
is
they're going
different
to do
football, right?
that. But
Playoffs is different
I mean,
football.
let's be honest. I don't think Sean McVay is going to go for one specific thing. He's going to pretty much throw his whole playbook at.
No, but I'll tell
Saints.
you what. Any coach who's ever coached football ever would rather be able to run the ball 300 yards than pass for 300 yards.
Yeah, no doubt. Because
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're running that well, you know you're going to pass even better.
Well, I can see, like, I feel like for the Rams, what they're going to need to do is they just need to bring a lot of pressure on Breeze. That's what
Which
the
I think
Cowboys
they
did.
will.
That's what the
I mean, Aaron
Cowboys
Donald,
did.
we're forgetting about. We even said Aaron Donald's name once.
Yeah.
All podcast.
Exactly.
Well, Aaron Donald. So there you go. We said it.
Well, how about
Hey,
how
who
about
knows?
this?
Maybe Ndamukong Suh will actually do something.
No, he did something last game, and I'm really mad that I didn't get to talk about this during the Cowboys game because he literally was like dominating Zeke. So imagine he comes out there and does the same to Kamara and
Wow, I would fucking hope that a guy as talented as him could fucking do anything.
well, whatever fire got lit up under his ass.
Well, Aaron Donald, dude, say I'm gonna fucking kick your ass if you don't help me out.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I could see that.
Oh man.
It was just a matter of Aaron Donald's fist slowly creeping up.
Aaron Donald hasn't really doing too much though. I mean, he's been putting the
Yeah,
pressure on, but he hasn't
Don't
been
talk
getting
about it.
sacks.
He has 20
No.
sacks as defensive tackle this year. That's
I
ridiculous.
know. I'm not saying I'm not saying he hasn't done shit. I'm just saying like in the past
He
couple of
doesn't
games, he
have-
hasn't been doing as well as he's been doing earlier in the
He
season.
doesn't have to have the stat line. His presence out there alone is a problem for.
I know it's a
That's all
problem
that
for everybody because he's pretty much the reason why like the quarterbacks are releasing the ball so quickly is so they don't get sacked. He's
but you're
almost
saying that
always back there in the backfield.
He's not doing anything. He's the reason why. If the Rams lost Donald, like they wouldn't be the Rams on defense. They'd be horrible. So you can't say as if he hasn't been doing anything.
Well, if you have somebody like Kamara, and Drew Brees is going to have an easy target to throw to underneath every single time, and
If
that's
Yeah.
such a tough matchup for him. I feel.
you forgot that he's not the only guy on defense either.
Well, yeah, there's.
Yeah, you had Marcus Peters saying that they're going to go to New Orleans and they're going to eat gumbo. So hopefully he can back some shit up for once in his life because he doesn't seem to ever do it.
No, you know what he's doing? He's giving them fucking bulletin board material. Do you think that the Saints need to be even more motivated
I
than they
don't
already
think a
are after
team-
Sean Payton pulls out
I don't
the
think a team as
25?
experienced as the Saints like needs bulletin board material. Maybe I think that's stuff that really helps young. I don't think that they even care that they're saying it. I just think it's going to make him look ridiculous because he hasn't played well all year. If I'm going to win this game, he's going to have to play really well.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big fan of football players talking trash.
I am. I don't really care. I mean, I like it. Like, say
I
what
don't
you gotta
like
say,
it.
but back it up. I
I
don't
love
like.
when Jalen Ramsey does it and then gets torched.
No, it
Yeah,
seems
like-
like to
like,
me every time somebody opens their mouth about something like saying stuff about shutting people down, who was it? Like, was it 2 weeks ago? The Colts,
Well,
T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, it was like T.Y.
He
Hilton.
called
They
him
called
a-
him a clown and everything.
Yeah.
And then he went out and proved them all wrong.
He
Yeah,
got
so
called
so
a-
here's a big mistake coming from Marcus Peters. You know, talking trash. He's just gonna make it even worse for his team, and now Drew Brees is gonna pretty much go out there and make him look like
What's
a
more
fool.
of a mistake, Marcus Peters talking shit before the Saints game, or Conor McGregor talking shit for the Habib fight?
The fighting's different though. It's 1-on-1. This is a team game. Like,
Yeah, so if you're gonna talk shit before you fight someone, you really better be able to back it up.
exactly. I don't know. Like,
Did we make picks yet?
no, we gotta make some picks now.
Picks
Okay.
and then end it.
Sheesh.
Picks and then good night.
Yeah. All right. So, who's gonna go first? Am I gonna go
I call
first?
third.
Third. You better
All
have.
right, I got
everybody go.
Rams. I'm taking the Rams. I got them 44-35.
34-35.
No, 44-45. 44-35.
Jesus.
Sheesh.
Dude, 2 high-scoring games. Wow. See, I don't know. I feel like this one's gonna be a lower-scoring game. I'm gonna go with Saints 28, Rams 24.
Oh my god.
No way. There's no way they're scoring under combined 55.
I
Not
think I'm
happening.
gonna go with that. I'm feeling it.
What do you got, Garrett?
My heart says the Saints because I enjoy Drew Brees, but everything's just saying Rams because they're so much more well balanced. So, I want Drew Brees to win, and I won't be upset if he does, but I think the Rams will. 35-28.
Yeah, the over-under of this game is 56.5. Saints 3-point favorites.
Yeah. And you know what? I just feel like it's gonna be a lower one.
But neither of these teams is good defense.
The Saint.
So what would lead you to that?
What?
Yeah,
Did you
what-
just say neither
what?
one of these teams have a good defense?
Yeah,
What
not
makes
really.
you think that this is
What
gonna
are
be
you
a
talking
defensive battle,
about?
though, Ryan?
Who was a good defense?
They're both good defenses.
I
And
mean,
they've both
the
been
Rams have Aaron
torched
Donald.
multiple times.
yeah, and the Saints have.
Marshawn Lattimore,
I
Cam
don't know.
Jordan.
I mean, who else?
Sure.
They're both just outside the top 10.
But they
Okay.
both get shredded constantly by good offenses, and this is one to where they're like what? Aren't they like the number 1 and 2 offense?
Hey,
I
you
don't
could have said the same thing
definitely
for the
top
Eagles
5.
game. You could have said the same thing for the Eagles game.
What could I have said?
The secondary was bad. How did Drew Brees not torch them? It was a low scoring game. And the Saints' defense isn't
Well,
that great either, according to
There's
you.
no
So,
way that
you
the
know, Nick
Rams
Foles
aren't
could have went
gonna
out there and
score.
easily thrown 4 or 5 touchdowns. But
So you're
it
saying
didn't
that
happen.
the
The Saints have been keeping people to under, like, what?
They're gonna
30
keep the Rams
points?
under 14.
They've been keeping people under, like, 30 points the past couple of weeks.
You think they're gonna keep the Rams under 14?
I didn't say 14.
No, I'm saying that's what they did to the Eagles. You're saying as if it's the same thing. The
I
only
don't
team
know.
to
They
shut
did it.
Down,
They did
the
it.
only team to shut down the Rams is the Bears.
The
and
Eagles
Bears
beat
are
the
on
Rams.
another-
The Eagles beat the Rams, and they held them to 14 points. So how would you not think that it possibly could go under?
Gurley was out in that game.
Yeah, and that was before C.J. Anderson.
His knee is still not completely healthy, though.
But C.J. Anderson.
Well, either way, that's my prediction. I'm sticking to my word. I'm not going back on it now. It's 28-24. Saints. Who dat?
Well, I hope the Saints win.
Ryan has made a
Rams.
mistake.
And you know who my... Okay, let's do a Super Bowl pick real quick, because I'm doing...
Why?
I'm
We
doing,
have done a Super
I'm
Bowl pick every
doing
week for
Saints
like a month
Patriots.
now.
That was my original pick. Saints Patriots, and the Saints are going to win it all.
I'm still saying LA Super Bowl. The Chargers are coming out in that losers bracket.
It's like
and they're gonna
Scooby-Doo.
take the championship.
It's
Yeah.
like Scooby-Doo. Patrick Mahomes is back there. He pulls off the mask, and it's Phillip Rivers.
No, dude, losers bracket. Chargers are gonna make it.
Oh my god. All
I
right.
say it's gonna be what almost everybody wanted to see again, which is gonna be the Rams and Chiefs.
I mean, if I'm gonna have to make an asinine Super Bowl prediction for the fifth
Yeah.
time in a week, I'm gonna go Rams, Patriots. I think my prediction has probably changed every week.
Yeah, it has.
Probably.
No, except for Patriots. I'm pretty sure I've had Patriots the entire time.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think you picked Baltimore at one point though.
I'm pretty
No,
sure
I
I
didn't.
picked this.
No, I didn't.
I'm
Me?
pretty
I
sure-
never picked-
Did I
Are you
did I
kidding
pick the Chiefs to win this game?
No, my pick at the beginning of the playoffs was Eagles Patriots.
Yeah, I did.
rematch.
I
Yeah.
picked the Chiefs to win 42-38. I remember now. But I still think I feel like my prediction is going to be wrong, so I'm just going to say Patriots going to Super Bowl. I'm predicting that because I want them to lose. So
So you're predicting
This is a
that your
biased-
prediction's gonna be wrong.
yeah, this is a biased pick. It's not. It has nothing to do with me going with my gut. Like if I'm going with my gut, I'm picking Tom Brady. I'm making my pick based off of what I want to happen.
You're just so insecure that your favorite
Yeah.
quarterback is never going to be known as the greatest because of this guy that like you have to hate him.
Yeah, I
It's
do
a
have to
shame.
hate him. I've never been a fan of Tom Brady though to begin with. Like
I mean, he
for
really
anybody
beat
that
my team
needs
in a
to
Super
cheat
Bowl,
to
so
win games is
Yeah.
anybody that needs to cheat to win games is
Okay.
pretty much
I
disqualified
think
from the
that's
GOAT position
the
in my
call here.
opinion. So
We out.
yeah, we should be out.
Are we ending it?
Because if I start
Yes.
talking about this, it's gonna go
No,
on for
shut up.
another
Nah,
hour.
no, mute Brian is-
So just block Ryan out. Alright, set it off.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
No, we'll see you later this week.
No, not later this week. We'll see you next week, and we'll recap the championship games, and then hopefully have a lead up to the Super Bowl and any other news
maybe.
breaking.
We'll have a lead up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we might not. Depends if Tim
Well,
is getting all
I don't
that.
know if it's gonna be.
me.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be next week because they have the week off in between, and I don't really feel like talking about the Pro Bowl unless we want to talk about the Pro Bowl.
Why
stat
would
thing.
we ever talk about the Pro Bowl?
Well, we could talk about the competition thing. I wouldn't want to talk about the Pro Bowl game.
Get the fuck out of here with that shit. End this.
All right.
Sure.
Well, anyways,
Fly, fly.
see you next week, guys.
Go Birds next year.